Do you have a library that contains a lot of reference books? I've talked about recreational books in a previous video, and today I'd like to divert your attention to books of a more scientific nature, research books, books that contain information that you wouldn't necessarily need to retain in your mind, but you want to have at your fingertips. And I can only speak from my own experience as a translator. I've studied to be a translator because I had family members who were pretty good at languages, and I was exposed to them very early in my life. And one of them was my great aunt Marion, who I inherited this kind of book from, a very small guide to learn Danish, which isn't really a big book, and at the end of the day it's really just a glossary, and it lists a couple of useful phrases. So very old-fashioned way of learning a language. And then over time, things became more interesting. This kind of book actually has exercises, it has images, it has conversations that you can follow and go along with and still learn by heart, but it's a little more lifelike. And then obviously those are accompanied by cassettes and these days DVDs and online sound files. And of course you need a dictionary to work with it. Now, it starts with the dictionary actually. Those things don't hold water forever. I find that some of the dictionaries I've been using in school are actually out of date. There's a lot of vocabulary in there that isn't in use anymore, or maybe wasn't even in use at the time, and a lot of new words that you come across on the internet on a daily basis aren't actually contained in there. So you might not be too happy with this one. What am I saying? This is language. Language doesn't really change all that fast. Think about different fields, especially science. Things move at the speed of light. If you think physics, a physics book of 25 years ago is probably pretty much out of date on a lot of content. And either you're missing bits that have been developed in the meantime, or you're being taught things that aren't current thinking anymore. It's very difficult to live with that kind of thing unless you're in the field yourself. And even then, it's a dangerous territory to follow. What am I saying? I'm not saying you should chuck all of those out and replace them with newer ones. But what you could think about is that you keep the ones that are unique, that are difficult to get, and that contain up-to-date information still, or that are base works of your field. But that you look into online opportunities to look information up in a way that ensures you get the latest information and that you don't fall into the trap of things that may not be current thinking anymore. I know it's a tricky path to walk, and to some degree I'm hanging on to my books as well. These for sentimental reasons, these because I don't have another one of that kind. But to be honest, if I have to look up vocabulary, I fall back on online databases as well. So maybe have a good look at your research bookshelf, or as it were, your research library, and really go through it and consider which of these books might actually contain information that's out of date. And if there are ways to get that information in an online way, in a more interactive way, in an automatically updated way, it's worth considering if you want to simmer down the number of books in your research library. Give it some thought, come back next time, stay clutter aware, and I'll see you then. If you want more, there are options. Click the round logo to subscribe to this channel, or select the playlist in the middle to see more content, or check out the links in the description below. Oh, and feel free to like this video.